Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tap Room Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Lads. Joined as always with my guys, Mr. Swervin over Washington, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. How we doing tonight, fellas?
I mean, Dubs won today, so I'm happy. Giants won today, so I'm happy.
Fucking Warriors should have lost that game, but
They should have lost that game. No question about that. But
Harrison Barnes choke job, man. Shit's incredible. But yeah, man, that's NBA playoffs for you. You know, that's how things go.
how's your team doing?
Which team?
Your NBA playoffs?
Oh, I mean,
Injured.
Giannis
Injured.
is hurt,
That's
dude.
how your
You
team's going. Yeah.
You lose the best player on the planet. It's a little difficult, but no excuses, man. They should be beating the Heat, with what they have, and they can't. And it's a
It's
problem.
only 2-1. There's still time.
Yeah, but if Giannis doesn't play, it's not looking pretty.
Yeah.
But he'll be back next game.
Well, and Jimmy Buckets isn't going to have a game like that ever again.
Yeah, and he hurt his knee last game, so we'll see what's going on. We got the Oilers-Kings game going on right now. It's 4-3 Kings, so we'll be keeping y'all posted for that. The Kings did lead this game 3-0 after the first period. Oilers came back and tied it three goals in a row, and the Kings got a easy goal in the third period because of a defensive breakdown by the Oilers. So we'll keep y'all updated with that. Big show on deck. We're going to be talking Major League Baseball. We're going to be talking some NBA and NHL playoffs as well. With that being said, we are being brought to you by theyre. Make sure to go to theyre.com or download the theyre app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. You don't even have to leave your seat. Ben, I see you sipping on something. What are we drinking, my guy?
Yeah, not beer tonight. So this is one that I saw at Safeway yesterday. So had to pick it up, had to buy it because, man, it's the Beast Unleashed, man. So this is Monsters, no caffeine, hard alcohol, hard. I don't know. It's not a cider. It's not a seltzer. It's definitely not beer. It's a hard 6% malt beverage, as they call it. So they dropped the caffeine and the sugar and added some malt liquor in there. So 6%.
Interesting.
See how it is. Yeah.
Interesting.
What about you? What are you drinking?
I'm on first beers. I'm sipping on a Swami's IPA. It's from Pizza Port Brewing Company.
Love that beer.
Comes in at 6.8%. First time I've ever had it, but I like Pizza Port, so
yeah. Swami's is wonderful. I think that's their go-to IPA.
Yeah, it's definitely one of their regulars. I think I've never had it though, so we'll see. We'll see. But it first couple sips tastes good, so nice. Looking forward to it. Let's hop right into some Major League Baseball. So Tatis came back this week, right? The Padres have gone 2-2 since he came back, or 3-1. Is it 3-1 or 2-2? Someone fact check me here.
San Diego has gone.
I know they lost they won
3-1.
3-1. So they're 3-1 since he came back. So my question to you guys is: are the Padres now the favorite for the NL West in your opinion, or are the Padres the favorite for the National League? What do you guys think? –
Definitely not the National League. in my opinion. There, I think we've got a lot of teams that are much more well rounded than the Padres are, because the Padres are struggling on both sides of the ball, pitching and hitting. And Tatis coming back can help a little bit on the offensive side, but man, that defensively, this team is struggling. 17th in earned run, 20th in the batting average against, 22nd in WHIP. Sorry, Tatis can't do that, and that's what we talked about from the beginning of the year. Is that this pitching is the issue here, and they got to shore that up before they can really make a run for this. So, I mean, looking at the division, the Dodgers aren't doing that great. The Diamondbacks aren't doing that great. I mean, they're doing good for what we expected the Diamondbacks to be, but I mean, I don't see any of these teams being, at least at this point, 23 to 24 games into the season, the top brass of the National League.
What do you think, Irv?
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is holding them back is pitching, though, honestly. And we said that was going to be the Achilles heel. I didn't expect their bullpen to start off this bad. It has looked better these last couple games, but I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. They got to add some bullpen arms, maybe another starter too, honestly, because outside of Darvish, Lugo's been okay, and Joe Musgrove looked all right his first start, but everybody else looked terrible. Even Blake Snell, he's looked horrible. He's looked horrible this year.
Musgrove looked awful, and his velocity was down too, which is worrisome. But it could be, his first start, so it could get ramped up a little bit. But I mean, we know Joe Musgrove's his flaw is that he can't get through a lineup 3 times. So I mean, he's never real outside of the no hitter that he had. I mean, he's not really gonna get you deep into games and save your bullpen, right? So, I mean, we
playoff game against what's the name?
Which one?
The Mets. He did.
Oh yeah, he was good.
7 or 8 innings.
Yeah, because he was using the sticky stuff. Remember? But Oilers scoring chance, don't score. Nice.
But even then, like other than Sander, this offense is not.
It's been inconsistent.
It's not doing it. Yeah, I mean Machado. I mean, I'd expect him at this point, especially after the year that he had last year, to have more than 7 RBIs. Your Trent Grishams, your Cronenworth, your Ha-Sung Kims. I'd expect to be over 200. I think. Well, you got Grisham at 205. Juan Soto, like, what's going on?
Yeah, Soto.
Will he start to increase his potential here?
I think that eventually, I mean, these guys they're dudes, man. They're gonna figure it out at some point. But yeah, it is. I mean, if they're still struggling in July or June, then we'll have some concerns. But as far as right now, I think it's just early, and they'll figure it out. And they looked a lot better as a team offensively and this week. And like, guys like Trent Grisham and Cronenworth, like they're gonna see a lot more fastballs because pitchers aren't gonna want your Sotos and your Tatises and your Machados up with runners in position, right? So those guys are going to see a lot more pitches, and it's showing. Trent Grisham and Cronenworth had a great series against Arizona this last week. And defensively, they've been pretty good too, like with Ha-Sung Kim up the middle and whoever they decide to throw at second base for the day. But I do think that their bullpen is worrisome. Hader's been really good, but it's about getting from the starter to Hader with a lead. Like they have to be able to bridge that. I just think it's inconsistent right now in that aspect. And I do think that they need a starter, but my only thing is, A, they don't have a lot of assets to trade, and B, I don't think the starting pitching market is going to be that great. And considering that the Padres don't have a ton of assets.
How do you not score that fucking goal?
And considering the Padres don't have a ton of assets, like they're going to get outbid by a Diamondbacks team that has a ton of assets, an Orioles team that has a ton of assets. Like there's just so many more teams out there with more assets that need a starter that will be able to outbid them. So I think that's going to be an issue. I don't think they're going to be able to address it in the season.
If anything, they're going to have to eat a contract that is, worrisome. And they do have
the odd man out. We all know who that's going to be
For what?
if they had to trade one of their big time players.
No, Ben's saying that they would have to like take back a shitty contract.
Oh,
Like a,
shit, he
yeah.
did. Oh, yeah, they might have to do that too.
But
I
they
think
can afford it.
I think they're gonna have to trade Tatis. Honestly,
I mean, that
Yeah,
might be their.
depends how he comes back though.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you're, let's say you're in July and you're like 500 and your pitching is like definitely your biggest weakness. I mean, do you consider, you know, maybe calling the Miami Marlins and saying like, hey man, we'll give you Tatis for Jesus Luzardo and Sixten Sanchez and a couple other prospects or something. Like, do you consider that?
you would have to because what's the name is definitely in their long term plans. They didn't give up what they gave up just to have Juan Soto for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Soto's not producing,
Yeah, but he's younger and he's less of a headache, and he doesn't have. Let's be honest, Tatis is probably a top 3, 4, 5 position player in baseball, but he has baggage and there's been questions about his leadership in the locker room as well. So
yeah. And I think it'll be interesting to see because they really have had a tough schedule coming through. And they did start with Colorado, but then they had Arizona, Atlanta, Mets, Brewers, Atlanta, Arizona again.
but
So
then they lost the series to the Diamondbacks though.
they lost the no.
That home series they had with the Diamondbacks, didn't they lose 2 out of 3?
No, it was only a 2-game series and they split it.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. 2-game series and split it. But they lost the Mets series, they lost the Brewers series.
And they lost the Braves
They
series.
lost the Braves series. But then let's look at what's coming up. You got Chicago, 3 games against Chicago, 2 against San Francisco, 3 games against Cincinnati. The Dodgers are going to be tough. Minnesota is going to be tough. LA is going to be tough again. Then you have Kansas City, Boston, and Washington. And then closing out the month with New York. They can make a run here. With only a few hard series and the 2 against LA and the 1 against New York, and New York hasn't been looking that great either. So
True.
maybe Minnesota being the other hard series. I think that's a tough week and a half there.
Yeah, I mean the Padres obviously have hella talent, so they could do the damn thing. But I definitely think they do have to figure some things out. And
yeah,
it's unfortunate too because like they're paying Darvish, they're paying Musgrove like a ton of money. It's like, and they're paying Blake Snell. It's like you can't just get rid of those guys. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work like that. And then, like I said, they don't have a ton of assets, so it's like you can't really trade someone. And so, do you wait for the offseason to sign someone? You know what I mean? But like, what do you do if you're in contention this year? And I don't know. Like, I feel like the Padres are a team where like maybe they can go out and add some good bullpen arms at the trade deadline and just hope their offense carries them, kind of similar to like the Phillies did last year, for example. They kind of just rode Nola and Wheeler, and then they added bullpen arms, and then their offense just fucking.
Shit, they paying for it now because Wheeler did not look like the same pitcher at all.
Neither does Nola.
Yeah.
Neither of those guys do. But I mean, I expected some regression this year, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Padres. I don't think they're the best team in the NL. I think that still belongs to the Braves, and until proven otherwise, I think it is what it is. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to look forward to. All right, so the Pirates and Orioles both on win streaks. Pirates have won 7 in a row. The Orioles have won 6 in a row. Do you think these teams are legit playoff candidates here?
I believe that the Orioles are more a playoff candidate than the Pirates. The Pirates have played a pretty shitty schedule, so
yeah, definitely agree with that. That division is going to get a lot better. St. Louis isn't going away, and Milwaukee isn't going away either. So that's going to be hard for the NL Central. And then you got such good other teams coming out of the NL East and the NL West that are going to take up those wild card spots. So it's going to be difficult for them in that division. In such a mediocre division for them to come out of it. They've had great pitching. They've had pretty good offense for not having O'Neal Cruz, and I know O'Neal Cruz isn't some superstar, but he is a big like shot in the arm for that team.
Yeah, I mean they're
So if they're still in the hunt, that might be something that can push them over.
playing
Later down the line.
they're playing well without him though.
They are. They really are. And that surprised me. The second that he went out, I thought it was game over for Pittsburgh.
Well, the one thing that's kind of interesting to me with the Pirates is that their pitching's a lot better than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Like their bullpen is legit. Their starters are a lot better than I anticipated. Oviedo's been good. Even Vince Velasquez. Oilers, let's go!
Oh, your favorite person too, Vander Kane.
Let's go! But I've been pleasantly surprised by the Pirates, fellas. Like Oviedo's pitching good. Vince Velasquez. I mean, Vince Velasquez is like a journeyman, bro, and he's been pitching good. He had a great start today. But I do think that there is some regression due for these guys. I really like Mitch Keller. He started to figure things out. And Contreras was like a guy that I thought was going to be a lot better. He hasn't even been that good this year, but I do think that there is some regression coming for the Pirates. Like you said, their schedule has been a little bit easier so far. So I do think at some point we're going to see a little bit of regression, but their offense is really good, man. Brian Hayes is really nice, and Sawinski's really good. Brian Reynolds is
yeah.
He's nice. He just went on with the bereavement list though, so he'll be out for a few games, having a child, and then obviously no O'Neal Cruz, so that's massive, right? So we'll see if they can continue to hold it down. I do think that it benefits them that their division sucks. Like
they got a tough May though.
Who are they playing in May?
So to end this month, they've got LA, 3 games versus LA, so at home. Then they've got Washington, which will be nice, but then they've got 3 against Tampa Bay, 3 against Toronto. Colorado is a little break for them. Colorado's been playing weird baseball right now. 3 against Baltimore, 3 against Arizona, 3 against Texas, 3 against Seattle, and then 3 against San Francisco to end it out.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
That's a tough month. So this might be a completely different story in a month from now where Pittsburgh is.
Yeah, so we'll revisit that. The Orioles, I do think. I mean, obviously they made a run last year. They're kind of like the Mariners. Mariners had a nice end of the season in 2021, almost made the playoffs, and then last year they did make the playoffs. I do think that the Orioles, though, Grayson Rodriguez had a good start. His xFIP is a hell of a lot better than ZRA, so we obviously were expecting some positive regression to happen, but they need guys like Dean Kramer to be good. They need guys like Kyle Gibson to continue to be able to eat innings and save their bullpen, and then on top of that, they need to figure out their bullpen, man, because getting to Felix Bautista has been an issue this year.
Mm-hmm.
They got to figure out how they're going to do that. And they have brought up Yennier Cano, who's a journeyman, but he's looked really fucking good in the games he's pitched this year. Ciano Perez was a guy last year who was lights out. He can't get guys out this year, so that's an issue. And then obviously Dylan Tate is hurt right now, so he's not even pitching. That's usually their 8th inning guy. So I think their biggest issue is really just getting to Felix Bautista. Like, kind of similar to the Padres, dude. Like, the Padres need to get to Hader. The Orioles need to get to Bautista.
Yeah.
And that's their biggest weakness.
Well, and I mean, they really haven't played their division yet either, which is, I mean, they've had 3 against New York, and that was New York won that series 2-1, but they haven't, I mean, okay, they played Boston as well, and they started another series with Boston, but Boston is not the, team in the division that I'm worried about. So you've got 9 more games against the Yankees. You've got 13 against Toronto and 13 against Tampa Bay. So if Toronto and New York keep going on their major slide that they're on right now.
Toronto's not on the slide.
I mean, they're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah, but I mean, they played the Houston Astros, the Yankees, and the Rays, dude. They played 3 of the best teams in the AL.
Yeah.
So it's To me, the Blue Jays are the best team in the American League, aside from the Astros. It's them.
You said that for how long though? Like
I have,
they
dude.
got to prove it to me to ever have that top quality.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, if you look at their lineup, dude, like outside of the Astros, who has a better lineup than them, top to bottom, and I would even say their lineup is better than the Astros right now because the Astros are banged up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then on top, like they have Gausman and Manoah. I know Manoah's been dog shit, but I mean that's two really good front of the line starters, and then they have
Gausman's likely going to regress too, though. He always starts the year off hot. Other than, I mean, he pitched all right last year down the.
Well, the weird thing with him this year, Ben, is like he's not good against bad teams, but he's been good against he's been great against good teams.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't know. It's I like the pickup of Bassett too. Like Bassett's a great third, fourth starter that can like go out there and eat innings. Hasn't really played out that way yet. And you know, also what's his face? The dude they got from the Twins. What's his name? Oh my God, what's his name? Pitcher. Yeah. The dude they got from the Twins 2 years ago. What's his name?
He a starter?
Yeah.
Barrios
has kind of figured it out his last 2 starts. He's looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's not automatic fade no more.
So, if he figures it out, I mean, you're talking about a totally different team. If you have 4 starters like that, and then their bullpen, the middle relief guy is not great, but Jordan Romano's cool, and I don't know. I think that's a really good team, dude. But I'm with you as far as the East, but I don't think the Yankees are as good as they were last year.
No, definitely agree with you on that.
Like the Orioles could definitely be the 3rd best team in this division, and at some point the Rays are gonna like not hit like they are right now, dude. Like,
not hit a home run every game, man.
Bro, they're raking right now, dude. Like it's not sustainable the pace that their offense is on. Like it's at some point it's gonna regress a little bit.
But at the same time, like the Rays have been a team that we've talked about over the last couple of years that they are a really good team. They've just been so injury prone that we've had to write them off. Now that they're healthy, how long can they stay healthy? But they're still that good of a team.
Well, I mean, they lost.
They was healthy last year. They just couldn't hit for shit.
No, they weren't.
They didn't have Franco for most of the year, and
Lowe was out for part of the year.
Yeah,
but
they
made the playoffs. They was healthy. They just couldn't hit. They had an 18-inning game with the fucking Guardians that ended 2-1 or 2-3, something like that.
2-1. That was a great game. But they didn't have Brandon Lowe last year, and in 2021, Brandon Lowe was their best hitter. So losing him is tough. And then they didn't have Franco for most of the year last year.
Rosarino was hurt for a little bit of last year too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this year is like you lose your 3rd best starter in Jeffrey Springs. That hurts.
Yeah,
he's out for the year. So now you're really banking on Rasmussen and McClanahan, because outside of those guys, like you got Taj, what's his last name? The kid that just came up, their top prospect. But I mean, he's young, dude. It's his first year. You know what I mean? So usually guys don't just come out and pitch lights out their first year. So
yeah.
But you don't have to tell me. Like I'm a Rays defender, dude. Like I'm always the guy that's like everyone's like, oh well, the Rays, like they're just like this team that like they're whatever. They don't have a big payroll, but yeah, okay, but they win 90 games every year, dude.
Taj Bradley.
There we go. Yeah, Taj Bradley. Yep. So I mean, the Rays are gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure out how to be that good of a team. I mean, they have great pitching, they have a great bullpen, they have a great starting rotation, so they'll figure out enough to win enough games. But aside from like the Orioles could definitely be the 2nd or 3rd best team in that division.
Yeah.
They could definitely be better than the Yankees, and they can definitely be better than the fucking Red Sox, in my opinion. So we all agree the Orioles have a better shot of making the playoffs than the Pirates.
Yes.
For sure. All right,
Especially the Pirates not having O'Neal for 4 months.
Yeah.
Is it 4 months?
Yeah, they said 3 to 4 months.
I thought it was only 2 months. That's brutal.
No, that hurts.
All right. Some Jeff Passan from ESPN dropped some Ohtani news this week, basically saying that.
I mean, it's nothing we didn't know.
Yeah, he said Ohtani unlikely to re-sign with the Angels if they're not in playoff contention. So rival GMs are speculating that maybe Ohtani could be available for trade if the Angels are out of contention halfway in around the trade deadline. So I'm gonna ask you guys: A, do you think Ohtani gets traded? And B, to who? We already know what Irv's gonna say.
Dun, 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 dun. I have no words. Just look at the picture.
No. And he won't get traded to the team that he's going to re-sign with at the end of the year. So
Yeah,
yes, he's going to get traded. I don't think he's going to be traded to the team that he re-signs with next year.
I honestly, the way the Dodgers operate, there's zero chance that Friedman trades for him because he's not going to give up all the assets to trade for him. That's just not what they do.
No words.
The only team I could see maybe trading the assets that would be needed to make a trade happen is the Mets. Only because Cohen is willing to do whatever it takes, dude.
Yeah, and I know the Mets are one of the teams that have the payroll to pay for him. The teams that were thrown out were, what was it? The Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Mariners,
and the Cubs.
That's right. I don't think he'd go to the Cubs. I don't think he wants to be in cold ass.
Saya Suzuki's there though.
Yeah, but a big thing that he wanted was to be on the West Coast because that's closest to, his home country. So I think the West Coast definitely has that. But and then the Yankees, the Yankees have that draw just because they're the Yankees. So I think it's going to be one of these West Coast teams, but I don't think I think he's going to get traded, to a team that's in the mix that has the assets that just want to win it once.
Yeah. So who is that?
I can see, Texas, if they're in the mix. Well, no, they wouldn't trade him in division there. But I can see Miami maybe doing it. I can see the Cubs putting in enough to get him on the team for the end of this year. I can see the Diamondbacks doing that, but I don't think that's going to be his final resting place. No, I don't think he's going to get as much out of these teams because he is strictly a rental.
I agree with that. That's why I don't think the Dodgers would trade for him because it's just not Friedman's MO, dude. Like, he's not going to give up hella assets just to. They may
sign him.
They may
later
sign him
at the end of the year.
Friedman isn't going to trade for him, bro.
But they're not going to trade for him.
You know as well as the rest of us that Friedman is not going to make that trade. I think the only team
especially
that
for rental.
I think
he's not going to be a rental if we trade for this man.
You don't know that though. You all traded for Manny Machado and didn't re-sign.
Okay, we knew Manny Machado was going to be a rental. We offered him $300 million. He didn't take it, so fuck him. But if he gets traded to the Dodgers.
My point, Irv, is why would you trade assets if you could just sign him in the offseason?
Yeah,
because you want him right now.
Why? You guys suck.
Well, that's fine.
Like, that's not Friedman doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, he could deviate from what he does usually. It's not like it's an end all be all. But if he does get traded before the deadline, he probably won't get traded to the Dodgers. But he's going to get traded to an NL team for sure because I don't see them trading him to another AL team, helping out another AL team.
I think the only team he gets traded to is the Mets. That's it. I think the Mets are the only team that would be willing to part with the assets needed to make the trade happen.
I can see the Cubs doing it if they're even close to the.
But it makes no sense for them to go for the Mets to do that because they know they would only have him for 6 months.
Well, no, but the Mets are delusional.
Cohen is he's crazy, bro.
They can get him.
I could see maybe the Cardinals doing it because the Cardinals have a deep ass farm, but the Cardinals aren't the type of team that would just like blow their farm.
But less than the hit, the Dodgers can give them some MLB ready players too. So
Yeah, but why would you guys like? I just don't see Friedman doing that.
Yeah,
Or
I
you
don't think there's
can't,
value there.
you don't have a time machine, so you don't know if he's gonna shit. He might get brainwashed like Trout did and re-sign with the Angels, but I don't think that's happening. But nah, we'll see how it shakes out. But like I said, if he gets traded, it's gonna definitely be to an NL team. It's not gonna be to an AL team.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but he very well can re-sign with an AL team if.
Oh yeah, as a free agent for sure.
Yeah, I'm still thinking he's going to be a Seattle Mariner next year.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They got a lot of people to pay, and I don't think they'll be able to afford giving him 500 to 600 million.
And the Mariners are a team, dude. I'm telling you, bro. Like last 25 years or so, man. They sign these big contracts, and then those players go to just fucking wash out. Robinson Cano, Eric Bedard, like every person they sign to a big contract never lives up to their contract. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case for Ohtani, but what I'm saying is that it could give him hesitation to the point where it's like, hey, do we really want to invest half a billion?
I'm sorry, but it has to be a major market to get an Ohtani. There's only four teams that could sign him to the contract that he wants and he deserves, and still be able to field a competitive team around him for the foreseeable future.
I mean, the Mariners have hella money, dude. They have Nintendo money.
Yeah, I understand that.
And Seattle's a growing sports city too,
but it's not a major market. The only thing that would draw Ohtani to the Mariners is they had Ichiro,
and they're owned by Nintendo, which is in Japan.
Okay, so Ohtani likes video games now?
No, but I mean, like, they have a Japanese culture because, like, they're owned by a Japanese corporation.
That state don't have a Japanese culture.
Yeah, they do. That's where Bruce Lee. Oh, he's Chinese, but that's where Bruce Lee's from.
No, Bruce Lee's from Washington, not
Seattle, Washington.
For some reason, I had a brain fart. But Ohtani's not leaving California. If he's a free agent, only other team I see him signing with that's not the Dodgers is by somehow, some way he wants to play back east and he signs with the Mets. But
I mean, I definitely don't think the Mariners are going to sign him. I'll say that.
Because I don't think the Mariners, even if the Mariners do get him, how much better he's going to make the Mariners. You see how they look now. That lineup outside of Julio Rodriguez is complete dog shit.
Julio's not even playing that well.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, like, and then you had those Jags last year that played way over their head, and they're not playing good this year. JP Crawford was a one-hit wonder. That dude's terrible. So I don't know. Go ahead, Mariners. Give Ohtani $500-600 million if you want to. I don't think you're built to contend with, even if you do sign him, with the way your team is looking right now. Your starting pitching is in shambles outside of one guy. Chris flexing, they need to flex his ass to the DFA because dude pack his ass up. That dude's crazy.
He said Chris flexing, they need to flex his ass to the DFA.
Go ahead, Mariners, swing for the fences. We'll see how it works out for you.
The Mariners have 3 good starters though. They got George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and they have Luis Castillo.
Yeah, Logan Gilbert is good at home, but he can't pitch on the road. He's the Carl Quantrill of the Seattle Mariners.
Oh my god, I need to clip that Chris flexing thing though. That was great. That was great stuff. All right, let's get to our top 5 teams, and then we'll do some NBA and NHL playoffs. So Irv, start us off, or Ben, you start us off. What's your top 5 MLB team power rankings this week?
All right, so we are going to go with number 5. We're going to go the Milwaukee Brewers, 16-7 plus 27 run differential. Only one back from where they were last week, and with 2 losses, one being 12-5. Not too worried about that. I'm still impressed with their firepower right now. Number 4, I'm going to go Pittsburgh Pirates at 16-7 as well. Hell of a start to season, and they're doing it without O'Neal Cruz. I think when he comes back, this is going to be a good outlook, but I think they're going to tumble down the rankings by the time that they get O'Neal Cruz back. Number 3, we're going to go Texas Rangers, 14-7 right now. Really easy schedule, but they're in 3, not 2, because they lost the series to the number 2 team. I'm not really fully bought in on Texas yet because of their schedule. So May is really going to be kind of something that we look at for them. Number 2, I'm going to go with Baltimore, 14-7, 8-2 in their last 10. Even team at home and on the road, 7-3 and 7-4, which is definitely a good sign going down the season. Only plus 18 on the run differential, which means that they're winning those close games, and that is very important. Number one, you got to go Tampa Bay right now, 19-3, 13-0 at home, plus 88 run differential, which is 28 better than number 2 Texas. In the run differential, they're first in ERA, opponent batting average, WHIP. On the pitching side, batting side, first in runs, slugging percentage, batting average, and on base percentage. Like, this team is
regression coming.
Until then, they're number one on my list.
The crazy part is they've still only played one good team. They've only played one team over 500, and they've lost.
Well, yeah, but a lot of those teams is because they've played Tampa Bay 6 times.
Tampa Bay 6 times. Who?
They played Boston 6 times, right? Boston would probably be over 500 if they didn't play Tampa Bay twice.
Boston sucks. The best team they played is definitely Toronto. They played the A's, the Tigers, the fucking Nationals, the Rays. The Jays, the Red Sox, and the White Sox.
Yep.
All right, or what's your top 5 teams? But I have the Rays number 1 right now too.
Yeah, number 5, Oakland Athletics. I'm just playing. Number 5, I'm gonna go the Atlanta Braves. Okay. Number 4, just based off this week and what I've been seeing. Number 4, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. They've impressed me.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm gonna go Texas.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Baltimore, and number 1, Tampa Bay.
All right. Mine's way different than both of your guys's. So I have number 5. I'm going with the Yankees. They've only lost 1 series all year, so I got to give them that respect. Number 4, I'm going Atlanta Braves. They would be higher, but they just got swept by the Astros. Number 3, I'm going Houston Astros because they just swept the Braves, and they're a really good team already. Starting to kind of figure it out. They are banged up, but they're starting to get a little bit healthier. Bullpen's pitching a lot better. Number 2, I'm going the Blue Jays because I think that they are the second best team in the Major League Baseball. And then number 1, I'm going Tampa Bay. And then honorable mention, I have the Orioles, Pirates, D-backs, and Padres. Honorable mention.
I disagree, but
that's fine.
We're talking about how they've played this year, and
yeah,
Yankees and Toronto are not up there.
Toronto is they played a really hard schedule. They've won 2 series against the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the only team to beat the Tampa Bay Rays in a series.
They're letting a lot of runs in.
That's fine. They're scoring a lot of runs. So,
yeah. No, they're not actually, but they're -4 on the run differential. 5-5 this week.
It'll even out once they get to play all the shitty teams that all these other teams are playing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move over to the NHL playoffs. So we got some NHL updated series prices. So Jets Knights are -315. They're up in the series 3-1. They can close it, or they're up in the series 2-1, right? 2-1 or 3-1? 3-1.
Las Vegas?
Yeah, 3-1, right? 3-1. So they're going back to Las Vegas. -3
2-1. 2-1.
Yeah, it was 2-1. All right, so they're -315. Jets +265. The Leafs -315. Lightning +265. The Leafs are up 2-1. Devils Rangers. Devils +240. Rangers -285. Rangers lead that series 2-1. Avalanche and Kraken. Avalanche -635. Kraken +485. Avalanche lead that series 2-1. And then Islanders Hurricanes. Islanders are +850. Canes -1,310. Obviously the Hurricanes are they're leading that series 3-1. And then we have Bruins Panthers. Bruins -4,500. Panthers plus 1850. Do any of these series prices interest you guys? Would you?
What was Tampa Bay, Toronto?
Tampa Bay is plus 265.
Tampa Bay is cooked.
I mean, I don't understand how y'all say that, but
Ain't they down 3-1?
no, it's
2-1.
2-1 right now. They destroyed in one game, they got destroyed in another game, and then it went to overtime in the next
Yeah, but
game.
with that last game, they was up 3-1, wasn't they?
Yeah, they were up 2 goals.
Yeah, I think it's time to pack them up.
And the crazy thing too is that they dominated that overtime and still lost. That was insane.
Penalty, he pulled him to the ground.
Yeah, well, there was also a lot of stupid shit happening in that game with Stamkos going in, and I mean it was a smart move by Stamkos to take out their offensive player, so they'd be in the box for fighting as well. But for that to not be a 5-on-3 at the end of that scrum is just incredibly surprising to me. I think Toronto definitely got a little bit of the refs' help there, and that would have changed the game completely. I'm not sold that Toronto is winning this series yet. It's 2-1. There's a lot of hockey left in this one. I think this is going to 7. So I'm gonna take experience in this.
Shit.
So
I think that series is over.
That's great.
I just think that Tampa Bay, they look old.
They are old.
They've played a lot of hockey in the last several years. Like there's a lot of ice time on those legs. It's kind of showing it, and I think
Toronto doesn't have that because they've been sitting at the beach because they are out of the first round of the playoffs every single year.
And I think the way the Leafs won that last game in overtime, I think it gave them a lot of momentum because this is a team that like hasn't been able to beat Tampa Bay in the last couple of years, and now it's like I think that they have this feeling in that locker room that hey, we can actually beat this team. And as I heard someone say earlier today, Toronto's not. They're definitely feeling themselves, man. They're gonna win their first series since HD TV came out.
Again, I'm not giving them this series yet. It's still way too early. They still have to win 2 more games, and that is very difficult against Vasilevsky.
It is, but I mean, I think it's
the way they lost that last game, man. They lost a bad taste in my mouth. You up by 2 goals,
and they dominated overtime. Irv, they literally dominated overtime, and
but they're not supposed to. You're not supposed to lose games losing games like that. The playoffs, you're either gonna do one or two things. You're gonna fold like origami, or it's gonna rally the troops. And I think they about to fold.
And Tampa Bay has been there. They've done it. They've won 16 in the last, 3 out of the last 4 years.
They got down 2-1 last year. What happened?
I definitely think Tampa probably wins Game 4. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. But I don't see them beating the Lightning 3 out of 4 times.
Yeah, no, I don't see them. I don't see the Lightning beating the Leafs that many times at all. As far as the other series, I kind of like the way Colorado dominated Seattle in the third period last night. I kind of felt like that showed Seattle like, yeah, y'all had a nice season, but you're not here yet. You know what I mean?
You're not at this level yet. Y'all getting there, but y'all not here yet. You're like a year away, maybe.
Yeah. And then I definitely think the Dallas Stars in Wild Series the most interesting to me because I think both those teams are like so similar, dude. That's like you could literally flip a coin for who's gonna win that series.
Agreed. Yeah. Definitely agree on that.
2-2 heading back to Dallas. There's no updated series price on it, but I'm guessing it's gonna be probably minus 125 Dallas since they're gonna have more home games right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the other series, do you guys think any of the dogs have a chance? Winnipeg or any of them?
I mean, it's
Winnipeg probably has the best shot.
Yeah, I can see Winnipeg having the best shot here. I mean, it all depends on what happens in this overtime game of LA and Edmonton because LA wins tonight.
We don't have a series price on this one because if LA wins tonight, they're going to be the favorite. to win the
Yeah.
series.
Yep. But if it goes 2-2, I mean, then it's. I think it's going to go back to the series price that it was originally, and I mean, Edmonton has not looked good. So,
But they've
I think that's.
they've dominated every game. They just haven't.
Yeah, but they can't
need
put the
to-
puck in the back of the net, which is the
They need
biggest
to
problem.
they need to free McDavid, man.
Other than this goal, they've scored the goal tonight. They've scored 2 goals. The full first line has scored 2 goals in 4 games,
Well, we do.
and that cannot happen.
We talked about it before the playoffs even started. We said goaltending carries teams in the playoffs, and what's his face for the Kings? His name's slipping my mind now. The goalie's name. What's his name? Corpusalo.
Corpusalo.
I mean, dude's standing on his head, dude. The Oilers should have like 7 goals in this game, but he stopped some incredible shots. And they've hit like 4 posts too, but that's here nor there. But he's playing in a great series, dude. And like he's definitely the MVP for the Kings in the series for sure. All right, let's move over to the NBA real quick. Series prices. We have the Heat plus 170 against the Bucks minus 195, which tells me that the Bucks think Giannis is definitely coming back next game. We have Grizzlies Lakers minus 335. They're up in their series 2-1. Grizzlies plus 280. And then Clippers Suns. I mean, this one's not even worth betting on. Clippers plus 5,000. Suns minus 15,000. That one's 3-1, and Kawhi is out indefinitely, and Paul George is obviously not coming back, so that series is basically over.
And it's got to be one of the worst signings. I know we've seen it all throughout the last week or so. It's just how much Kawhi's been hurt and how he can't help that team.
It's unfortunate, man. It's his body's not reacting. Like his knee might be literally cooked, dude.
Yeah. Did Denver win tonight?
That game went into overtime.
Right now.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, it goes into overtime when I have the under in it. They're gonna lose.
Should still be fine. 129 left in OT.
Yeah,
211. What'd you get it at?
222.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Never say never.
Timberwolves are up 109, 102. So
the Celtics and Hawks was like 80% chance of going under, and then they scored like 37 points in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love it, dude. Oh, what a day. What a fucking day.
Knicks did they win today to
they
win the
They
series?
No, they're up 3-1.
Okay, so that just puts it at 3-1. Okay.
That series is over though.
Yeah, that series over.
Yeah.
Cleveland cannot hit the ocean with a beach ball from a fucking aircraft carrier in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right now. They pack their ass up.
They can't do anything right, dude.
Yeah.
That
No.
team is they got
And Jared Allen is literally out there just getting miles. He's just running up and down the court.
Yeah, he's a waste of 7 feet in this series. Man. What is he doing, bro?
So who do you guys think wins this bitch ass Dylan Brooks versus LeBron series?
Well, Jordan think the Lakers let the Grizzlies.
I'm a villain.
I definitely think the Grizzlies. Like, I don't think the Grizzlies are gonna win the series. I don't think they're gonna win it, but I do think that the Grizzlies win Game 4. And I think it goes back to Memphis 2-2. Because dude, the Lakers were up 30 points and they let the Grizzlies come back and they only won by 10, and the Grizzlies got within 8, and they made it a game. You know what I mean? And the Lakers, in my opinion, they just get it's happened all season, dude. Like they just get hella complacent. And like the playoffs are a time where like you have to put your foot on your opponent's neck and take them out of the game, because the Bucks kind of did it in Game 2, dude. Like they were up by 30 and they took their foot off the pedal, and Miami came back. Miami only lost by 13, but it gave them hella confidence. And then in Game 3 we saw it, dude. Duncan Robinson went off for like 19 points, dude. Duncan Robinson hasn't played an NBA game, a meaningful one, in 2 years.
So step on their neck or hit them in the nuts? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I prefer stepping on the neck. I don't like hitting dudes in their nuts, but I didn't like the way the Lakers closed that out, and like they still have an issue. Like D'Angelo Russell is like, he's up and down. He's inconsistent, and
From what I've watched of that series, I think whoever wins Sacramento Golden State will win that series.
Oh yeah.
Against
I
either
don't know.
Memphis
I don't
or
know
LA.
if the Warriors will. I don't even know if the Kings will, to be honest. But the Kings, they play with such a fast pace, dude. It's like unbelievable that it just tires their opponents out. Like the Warriors are gassed. Game 3, the Warriors won because Sacramento was very inexperienced and they weren't ready for that hostile environment because playoff crowds are different, right? But then game 4, you kind of saw them adjust, and De'Aaron Fox realized, like, hey, nobody on this team can guard me, which they can't, and he kind of like took over. And at the end of the day, like the Warriors have to be able to win a road game, and I don't think they can. So I think the Kings are going to win the series. But then if they match up against the Lakers, like they're just not good in the front court depth, that it's going to be an issue. Like AD is going to go to town on Domantas Sabonis. However, the Lakers can't stop dribble penetration from the perimeter, so De'Aaron Fox is going to have his way. And the series is really going to come down to, can the Lakers steal one in Sacramento? If that's the case. And if the Kings if it's Kings versus Memphis, it's going to be, can the Kings steal a game in Memphis? Because Memphis is a really good home team, remember. They're the best home team in the regular season. So that'll be interesting. We'll talk more about that. But let's get to some best bets, because I got to head on over to Temple of Hoop shortly.
Let's go, y'all.
What best bets we got for tomorrow, fellas? Let's get some winners, man. Let's get to the window with some winners.
Best bet, give me New York Rangers money line.
New York Rangers money line. I like it.
So I was trying to pull up my numbers for tomorrow. I think we are going to see Carolina close this out, so the line is not going to be good for the individual.
That's Tuesday, man.
What's that?
That game's on Tuesday.
Tuesday? Well, we'll still do it for Tuesday.
All right.
We'll go minus a goal and a half there. And, I mean, shit. Boston minus a goal and a half. We'll go Tampa Bay money line.
Ben's like
Colorado minus 1.5.
Oh, shit. Tampa Bay money line. Colorado minus 1.5. Damn. All right. I'm going to go under 8.5. Orioles and White Sox. We saw a better Dean Kramer against the Nationals the other night. And Chris Sale, while he does have an 8 ERA, he only has like a 3.2 xFIP, so definitely some positive regression coming. And the Orioles, while they have been hot, they haven't really been swinging the sticks all that well. It's really been their pitching that's carried them. So I like the under 8.5 in that game. And then I'm going to do a 2-team money line parlay with the Guardians and Braves. Braves coming off 4 straight losses. They're due, plus Strider's on the mound against Eduardo Cabrera. I like that matchup there. And then Cleveland is going against Austin Gomber in Colorado. And while they don't hit lefties very well, they just put up 6 runs against Jesus Luzardo today, who's a way better lefty than fucking Austin Gomber. And then Cal Quantrill, who's only good at home, is pitching. So give me Cleveland Atlanta moneyline parlay, and then we're going to go Grizzlies plus 4.5. Let's get it.
Nice. I like it.
And one of those 2 moneyline team parlays one of those 2 teams is gonna blow it. Probably the Guardians, because they get allergic to hitting sometimes, man.
Austin Gomer has a 12 ERA though.
Yeah, no, he's really not good. But they couldn't hit Smeltzer the other day either. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Ben, how are those monsters, man? I gotta know.
They're sweet as fuck. So even though they don't have sugar in them, they are incredibly sweet. But they're not bad. They do taste like the energy drinks, just not caffeinated, which is nice. So.
Oh, they're not. So it's Monster energy drink, but not caffeinated.
Yeah, no caffeine. Yeah, no, that's the only reason why I'm drinking it at 9:30 at night.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But yeah, no caffeine, no sugar. But there's a lot of fake sugar in there, and it is sweet as fuck. But I'd give it a 3.75. They're not bad, not great. I don't think I'd go out of my way to get these again, but I just have a feeling if you drink a couple of these, you're going to be hurting the next day, even though it's fake sugar.
Interesting.
So, yep.
Wow, the Grizzlies and Nuggets barely went under, dude. It ended at 222, and I got it at 222.5.
Oh wow, there you go.
Gotta love that hook when it works in your favor.
That's incredible, man. That is incredible stuff.
Grizzly won, right?
Yeah, they won.
Damn, Kings lost.
Oilers, let's go. We back in it, Ben. We back in it. We're back in it. Let's go. We're alive. We are alive. If y'all don't know, Ben and I made a wager on our NHL preview playoff preview. I said the Oilers were going to win the Stanley Cup. He said they would not. So we have a bet. If the Oilers don't win the Stanley Cup, I'm going to I'm going to shotgun a porter. And if the Oilers do win the Stanley Cup, Ben's going to do the one-chip challenge live on air. Can't wait for it. Although I'm not confident anymore in the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup, I will admit. My confidence level is probably at like a 4.5. It was at a 10 when we did the playoff preview show. Now we're at 4.5. So we're there.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to go to theyre.com or download the theyre app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. You don't even have to leave your seat. With that being said, we'll be back on Tuesday night. We'll be previewing the Major League Baseball slate for Wednesday. Been doing really good on those shows lately, so definitely tap into that. And thank y'all for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. Let's get this money. Let's get to the window. And let's go.
Bro better run to his car. He in LA.